Hello, everyone. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
Hello, everybody. I'm James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James. You have come to Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks. I'm handling the chat tonight, so please chat with us, and Beth will speak directly to you in response.
If you're live, and if you're not live, you have to leave your comment, and I'll answer you as soon as I see the comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tonight's show is about stress and dysfunction and how to turn off the panic button for ourselves and our world and why we need to and all that good stuff. But before I mention that, let me say, please, if you like our programs, like them, love them, and become a subscriber, not a subscriber, it's called a follower to our page, and write us wonderful comments and share this program and every program we do with people that you love, because everybody is stressed and needs to talk about it and think about it.
Yep.
Okay. So, have you noticed, I wonder if you have, I certainly have, that people are becoming more dysfunctional all the time? What do I mean by that? I'm going to give you a very simple example. So, we ordered a digital keyboard from a major online retailer, and they just have messed it up every which way. They write to me and they say, well, they don't have a new one in stock, but they do have a new one at this store. And so then I'm contacted by the store and I said, sure, it's new. And they said, well, we don't have all the good packaging. I said, that's okay. So then they're going to send it out to me, but then they forgot to send the manual. See, dysfunction. But there was another dysfunction before.
That was just the first one.
Well, it wasn't even the first,
Okay.
because there was more. But I didn't know that yet. So they ended up delaying it a day. And so then they expedited the shipment, which cost them more money. And it did come. And when it came without a power cord. It had a power cord, but it wasn't to this particular keyboard. It was totally useless. Okay, I see a friend already.
Oh, Karen says, good topic. And yes, I have noticed. And Todd says, hi, Beth and James.
Hi
and he
there,
sends lots
Karen, and hi
musical
there, Todd.
notes
Thank
and
you so much
Carrie.
for your support. So, anyway, so it gets here, and it is wrapped so badly. It doesn't have any of the, I didn't care if it didn't have the original packing material, but it was wrapped so badly. I don't know what happened to the thing. The keys were scratched. There was a dent in it, and as I say, there was no power cord, so I couldn't even turn it on to find out if it was working after that trip. So I had to call them up and spend a day talking about what are they going to do, not them, but the corporate office, and then the corporate office got in touch with me, and they said, okay, we are going to replace this. Meanwhile, James and I had to drive over an hour to get to, about an hour, to get to a store to return this, so it didn't cost us a fortune to return something that we couldn't use anyway. And we had a few bits of dysfunction ourselves. But fortunately, I took pictures of all of the things. It was scratched. The packing material was a joke, and the cord, which was, by the way, discontinued. Not only didn't it fit this thing. So I wait, and they say, okay, they're going to overnight it to us. And they're going to send me a brand new one. Okay. So now it was supposed to get here today. And what do you think? FedEx somehow dropped the ball, and instead of sending it to Portland, Oregon, because we live near Oregon, they sent it to Oakland, California. So now the keyboard is delayed again. So it's been over a week. I still don't have the keyboard. it's and they've expedited. They're paying for all of this. I feel sorry for them, but I'm not happy either because I still don't have the keyboard. So and to me, one of the major dysfunctions, which I didn't even know in the beginning, was when these people sold me this, they said it was new. But it wasn't new if it was scratched and dented, and obviously it was not new. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we got one here. Amy says, "Hi, Beth and Jane." What a crazy world, right?
Exactly.
She sends a couple of hearts of love.
Exactly.
And Elizabeth says, "Hello there," and she sends love and caring.
Yes, and there's another one
And
above
Tracy
that.
says hello, and she sends love and caring.
Wonderful.
Also.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank
anyway,
you.
guys, so I'm looking at this, and you know, you have to feel sorry for the people who are doing this because they are paying for it as well as us, because I still don't have this keyboard, and we have a concert coming up, and I don't know if I can use it, and I have a lot to do. Anyway, I thought, it's not just them, is it? I, too, am stressed. James is stressed. Everybody is stressed.
Well, I was just distressed and stressed just this past 24 to 48 hours trying to get a prescription filled.
Yes.
And one of the numbers I called, nobody answered whatsoever. It was a medical facility. And then I called another number, and I gave a fax number that was on the website. And so my drugstore sent it to that fax number, and that was a fax number to nowhere. And so we finally got alerted to that yesterday.
And then everybody's now rushing to try to fill this prescription
I
because
know.
James drank. So we have another one.
Yes, and Catalina says hi, and she sends a big wave hello and a heart of love and musical notes.
So I bet you have been running into this too, because we just picked two examples. It seems like everything is done. We have to do everything 3 or 4 times because it's done wrong the first time. And it's not just us. See, and I tell myself, well, this is happening to us because we're old and cognitively impaired. Well, what's the excuse for the other people? Either they're all on drugs, and by the way, we aren't on drugs. I think everybody is freaking out and is so stressed. And it looks like we have another.
Mohammed says hi. So how are you both, madam and sir?
Well, very
Wonderful,
glad
thank you.
to
So
be
glad
here.
to have you with us.
So, anyway, in thinking about this, then you think about the whole country. You know, the trans population is a very small population. We have major issues with global warming, climate change, drought, tornadoes, floods, but we're going after the gays and the trans because that is obviously the biggest problem that we have. Now, I understand that people are stressed and they're looking for something to fight, some way to make everything be okay. But you see what happens is we're not very rational when we are stressed, are we?
Nope. I gave that a big nope.
So, I mean, I just gave that as one example. But, you know, it's kind of ludicrous. Or, oh, Trump said this, or Biden said that, or, it's like this constant hysteria. If you look at the news, it will make you insane in about 30 seconds, and that's exactly how we are. So, anyway, today, I was really feeling it. Because what is happening is we are all stressed and our egos take over. The part of us that is not really very conscious but is into self-protection. And how do we self-protect? Well, we either manipulate or use force. I mean, what else do we have, right? And it seems like everything is, I'm not saying everybody does that, but there's a tremendous amount of manipulation to try to get people to do what we want, or force.
Oh, Mohammed has a comment. Can we get free from stress by drinking a cup of tea, madam?
No. So, Takes a lot more than drinking a cup of tea. Especially if I drank tea, I would be like way overstressed because I can't stand caffeine. But anyway, that's not it. I mean, there are things we can do. It's no, we have to change our whole perspective, because see, I wrote a book called, you could say I channeled a book called God's Little Aphorisms. And aphorisms are little short things that are kind of like you hope wise. And one of them is slow down to speed up. You see, we feel panicked when we're stressed.
Mm-hmm.
We're panicked. I'm exactly the same way. And when I panic, and I'm stressed, I get stupid. I just don't have enough space in my brain for clear thinking. I've seen it a million times with other people. It's not just us. We just get like, oh my God, I've got to fix this problem right now. Oh my God, look who won the election, or look what they're doing, or look at this, or
I feel the pressure of time, and
I
I
feel the
get all
pressure.
anxious and panic.
Exactly. Now, I'm not saying that we should never act quickly. Obviously, if a car has hit your dog, you have to act quickly, but you still have to calm down. Take a breath, breathe.
Poise under pressure.
What should I do? I think in my case, I'd better call 911, or I better enlist the help of a neighbor. But what happens is that when we are really stressed, we often don't think clearly, and we don't look for the right support from the right thing. Oh, I think I'm going to move that car. I'm going to turn it over. It's on my dog. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that. Maybe somebody can. But I'm kind of making light of it, but we have to always evaluate what all the options are. But when we are panicked, we can't evaluate anything. We act. Now, sometimes, as I say, that's really a good thing. Oh, somebody is dying. Maybe we should do CPR, although I read that maybe that isn't really the answer. But see, every minute you pick up the news and it tells you something else that you believe is not true. And then they contradict it the next day. And so, your head is a scrambled egg. But since I can't do CPR or any of them anyway, it doesn't really matter to me. I'll just scream and look for someone else to help. But I want you to think yourself, honestly, how many things are you working on in your life that you're panicked about? And as a result of that, you feel like you have to fix the problem immediately. Immediately. Right?
Yeah, and when I do that, my focus narrows very, very much.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of anything else.
That's right.
I had that experience yesterday. I was packing up the keyboard that didn't work,
Yes.
and my focus was so narrow, I didn't think to also bring the cord that was supposed to go with it, the power cord.
Yes, he forgot. So we have another comment.
Muhammad says, after praying, I spiritually feel renewed and stress-free. Does prayer help in this regard?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you agree on it, madam?
Oh, absolutely. But see, that's what I'm saying. All of us have to do. Okay. There's all kinds of people coming out against abortion, and maybe you're a person who believes that abortion should be available. So let's just panic, right? And start being attacking and being hysterical instead of saying, I wonder why these people are taking that position. Is there any way to talk to them? Is there any way to gather support? Is this really the right thing to do anyway? To think about what we're doing, it takes a certain discipline and a willingness to absolutely observe ourselves. Now, James just mentioned that he forgot to put in the power cord, which was very funny because we were adding dysfunction to the dysfunction.
Yes.
And it goes on. So, now back to the question, what to do? First, we have to give ourselves permission to do nothing.
Ah.
In that moment. Now, what would I do if somebody was putting out a bill that I didn't approve of? Call all my friends, try to get everybody out there. I would get into a panic. Now, maybe that is the right plan of action. Maybe it isn't the right plan of action. But I haven't given myself a chance to do number one. Stop! Again, I'm not saying that in every situation you stop. However, probably you do. Even if, my dog has been hit by a car, I need to internally take that moment to stop, breathe, and tune in to what are my options. What can I do? But usually we don't do that, you see. So even in the emergency situation, we need to scan and see what help is there or what can be done. And most situations are not requiring that quick a response, but we feel the need from our insides that we have to solve the problem ourselves, and we have to solve it immediately. We can't live with the anxiety. We can't live with the upset. But what we're actually doing is creating stress. So now we're not living with the problem, we're living with the stress that we have created around the problem. And it causes us to be stupid, to yell, to be unreasonable, to make stupid decisions.
Oh, here's another comment from Mohammed. Listening to music can also release stress and tension to some extent.
Absolutely.
I've had that experience.
Absolutely.
Lots of times.
And so I'm going to tell you, after the little fiasco with the Roland keyboard, that where James forgot to put the wrong power adapter in the box, so we were also adding to the problem. I called a woman and I spoke to her and she said, that's fine, it's discontinued, nobody needs it anyway. But then I realized that this was really getting to James. And so how, that he has some impairment and he was getting worse because he was so stressed. So I went out and I sat by our water feature, our little home waterfall, right? Which is pretty big. And I just sat there and so I tried to calm down because I was panicking about James. And so there's always something to panic about. In fact, there's 100 things to panic about. Oh my God, I just gained 10 pounds. So, or lost 10 pounds. Whichever end of the spectrum you're on. Okay. So I went and I sat by the sound of the stream and the waterfall, and I just shifted out of I have to fix James immediately. And I heard, you need to help him reduce his stress. This is the last, I've tried music, I've tried this and that, and so you have to help him to reduce his stress. You need to ask him, and I'm getting this through guidance, you see, because this has something to do with the guidance conversation that we've been having for a few weeks, right? We talked about, are we guided by fear? Are we guided by anger? Are we guided by a desire to belong or please our parents, whatever it is? And how can we be guided by something really good and helpful?
Higher consciousness.
Higher consciousness. Well, this is one of the keys to that. So as I sat there, I thought, I have to stop trying to fix him and make him well. And I happen to be, is that okay with you that I'm talking about?
That's fine.
Because this is how this whole thing came to be today.
I'm Exhibit A for humanity.
You are. You make a terrific exhibit. And so instead of trying to fix him and being in such a hurry, I thought, you know what I need to do is help him to look at what he's doing and how he does it and how it stresses him out, because it will impact his cognition. It impacts mine. I cannot tell you how many stupid things I do every day. When James does it, it's like, oh, that's cognitive impairment. When I do it, it's like, I'm stressed. So anyway, right? So it looks like...
Oh, another comment?
Yeah.
Amy says, it's so easy to react to everything as if it were life-threatening with no time to lose.
Exactly, Amy. You have got it. You have got it. So instead, I sat there and I got quiet, I breathed, and I listened, and I heard the inner voice. See, people have been talking
And what did
about.
it say? What did it say?
It said, look, it's. Well, I just told you what it said. That instead of trying to fix James, you
Yeah.
should try to help him to reduce his stress. So look at everything that you do every day and help take out the needless stressors. We think we have to do this, and we have, like Amy is saying, and it looks like.
Oh, here we go. Muhammad says being together alone, exchanging words of love can also release
Oh,
stress.
totally, totally. A hug can help to release stress, but we have to make the decision, guys, that we need to stop panicking and stop reacting. We actually have a belief that if we're not doing something about a situation in the moment, that we're failing, that we're not doing it. So I sat out there and I got this. Now, I don't know how it's going to work, and I heard that I needed to start doing different music because I've been doing music that stimulates the brain, and it's done incredible things for James, and it's on our healingartsnetwork.org, healingartsnetwork.org, Beyond the Notes, piano music that heals. We have that music. We have another series coming out now, which is already up there, which is Riding the Rapids, advanced healing music to help us. But none of that music is exactly what he needs in order to stop stressing, or what I need, or what our whole world needs. See, I want to go out there and convince everybody that their thinking is wrong. But maybe what I should be doing is trying to figure out how to get everybody to breathe.
Chill.
Chill. I almost called this show Everyone Just Chill. So think about the things that you are stressed about and just chill. You don't have to answer that problem today. Most of the time, you don't have to answer the problem today. And so as I sat there quietly, this guidance came to me. And I started to create new music that I'm calling, for the moment, I'm calling it interludes. And it's music to take a break and listen. It's kind of like spacey music. And I'm going to be putting that up on the Healing Arts Network. So I don't know if I'm going to call it spacey music or chill music or what I'm going to call it. But I want to get into deep relaxation. And as Muhammad was saying, music can really help that. And that's why I want this keyboard, because this keyboard is going to allow me to do other kinds of music that might help us with that next stage of healing, which is look around. Look at everybody with compassion. And notice how stressed everyone is. And have compassion for one another, because people are crazy. If you, I mean, honestly, people are crazy. These believing all kinds of nonsense, saying stupid things, attacking one another, polarizing. You think that people would be polarizing if they were relaxed? No. People are polarizing because they're hysterical and they're trying to force something to happen. So if we stop forcing, start relaxing, start looking at each other as human beings who are in trouble, we have a chance to actually start building something.
Oh, Muhammad says, kindly suggest, advise a remedy to avoid being in stress.
Well, I was just talking about that. First, we have to be willing to accept reality as it is, which is obvious. Second, we need to make the decision that whatever we're facing, that stress is not going to help it. And then find ways that work for you, that relax. And that doesn't mean a glass of wine and a toke. It's something different. It's things that really help us to relax and heal on the inside. Give yourself permission to not fix a problem in the next moment. Realize that this is causing more problems than it's solving.
Catalina says, I'm looking forward to chill music.
Oh, she must think that the name should be chill music. Maybe it should be. The first one that I played today that I didn't have the right keyboard for was 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And James listened to it.
I chilled.
He chilled so much that he fell asleep on the couch. So, relaxation is not for slugs. Relaxation is for people who want to get something done. So the aphorism, that saying that I gave you earlier was slow down to speed up.
Right.
Because the more we rush and are stressed, the more mistakes we make, just like happened
Sure.
with my keyboard. This company made one mistake after another, and it's costing them money, and it cost us time and money and aggravation also. So there it is. That's a quick review of what I have to say tonight. Please like our show, love our show, share our show. Do you think there's anybody in your life who may be a little bit overstressed who might benefit from hearing this? I would imagine that there is. And I invite you to relax and also to like our show, love our show, comment, and I will respond to you later.
And join us tomorrow night for
Magical Improv, where I play the piano and James sings, and we bring as much beautiful, uplifting music to you as possible.
Oh, and Amy says, even with practicing music, the teaching is that if you can play it slowly, you can play it fast.
That's right. The best way to learn how to play something is to slow it down and really get into it and understand it. That's a very good point. So when I say chill and relax, it doesn't mean that you don't think anymore, but you allow the voice of higher consciousness to seek you out and go to you, rather than saying, God, what should I do? What should I do?
Oh, here we go, another comment.
Okay.
Muhammad says, Madam, I have tried without so far success your suggestion about how to avoid being in stress. I am suffering from hypertension, which is hereditary.
Okay, well, if you're suffering from a physical condition, then you may need more of a medical solution. So I am not a doctor, and I can't tell you how to deal with hypertension in that way. But I would guess, and you're not going to like me for this, Muhammad, I am going to guess that there's something in your past that is causing you to feel so stressed, and that you always think that it's something right there, but it isn't, and that you have a tendency to go into that stress mode of reacting. So I don't know if that'll help you, but I know that that's what happens to me, that I have some programmed reaction of trying to fix things and change things and dominate things immediately, and perhaps you do too, or that there's some other reason deep in your psyche that maybe you should be looking for. And
Yes.
I have got to go, because
indeed.
good luck, and let us know if you try any of these things. Remember, we may not even be able to fix everything, but we can't fix it by adding more stress.
Right.
So thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
And we'll see you
Great to
tomorrow
have you
night
with us.
at 7 p.m. Pacific time for the
Yeah.
music, or next week at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Bye-bye for
another
now.
Granny Rex Raps and Rocks. Bye-bye.